Well, I named this wrong, but yeah, if you came for Helldivers, it's not that. I put a description. Maybe I'll figure out to change the title later. I half don't fucking care anymore. I'm gonna actually throw this to the one person who's probably gonna see it, just as an evidence thing. And I doubt anybody else is gonna see it. And if they do, well, they'll probably report it to Linden Labs and get me kicked out of SL because oh well, it's just like falsified information. No, it's me with a completely unedited set of logs, and it's not a copy paste. And as far as I know, the copy paste is against TOS. But to stream the fact that it's happening, a recording is another issue. And I'm losing my voice because someone else just couldn't leave me alone after they said that it was getting late. But lo and behold, I tell them just fine, go, and they just won't. So there's just no belief in whatever I say. There's no respect in like whatever I say. I need some time out. I'm just what choice do I have? I fucking walk out down the street outside. What do I get? I get a cop that pulls me the fuck over. Not because I have a criminal record, maybe because I have an arrest record. It'll be anything from the guy in the bubblegum lights is that, well, I got a report that some guy was walking down the street in a mask. Motherfucker, you could literally see I'm doing that right now. Oh, why are you doing that? Oh, I don't know. Because it was winter and fucking like 16 degrees. Just a fucking thought. But anyways, let me just take this thing off. I've forgotten how to do everything because I've just not been doing shit. But yeah, here we go. And this is me. One of the better things I tend to do, where I get yelled at less, oddly enough, is I find YouTube movies, in the background, and it's got to be not official, like stuff like YouTube that they want to monetize. It's nothing monetized except maybe I don't know. It's not even ads. There's very specific things of what I can throw up on the screen here, and if you need to sign in because it's age restricted, or if I don't check it for its regions, it's not going to play for some people, and it goes, tits up. So I have to do that. I do fun facts and things like that, and that's how I, my fun facts about it, the fact that I found it somewhere, and we all make jokes about it, especially myself. I get little Lindens in my box, which then in turn, I can help afford some things that might come up for costs for the whole Sky Pirate thing that I do, theme wise, and materials for something that like wearable stuff that I would do for through weekend sales, because that's how you make that lower end dollar stretch. But I do keep a little bit of a savings thing. I'm sure if you squint really close and whatnot, you'll see I've actually saved up a nice little fair little chunk. So for things that really now would cost, like space for if we were to have a spot at Sci-Fi Con or something like that, in a pinch, even if nobody else could help afford chipping in, which has happened, I still keep enough on hand for that. But anyways, the reason why I'm doing this is really just the whole scroll bit. Now, let me find it again here. Am I looking dead at? No, that's nearby chat. So a person here, as you can see, I've already highlighted it because I did a copy pasta. I guess the resolution for this should be good enough to read. But anyways, it goes from, on the 23rd of the 9th month in our year of, somebody's Lord, who may hate me for all I know the way things have been going, 2025, it kind of came in where I got, of Ahoy Captain. I don't know if you have seen notices in Drivers Group, which, no, I didn't. I have so many notices that go flying by this corner, like including when I'm trying to wake up, because I sleep like shit a good chunk of the time. And when I'm flying, trying to catch everything that's in this corner is not highly likely. And a lot of people ignore my notices all the time. So yeah. It's like going sign blind when you're driving. Everybody knows what that means if you're a driver and, well, I guess have basic studies of advertising, but which I guess is not everybody. Anyways, they went on to say, I don't know if you heard the notices, drivers group, but there's a big 10 tribe event in November with various contests and challenges. I thought some of the salty air dogs might want to get involved with things like the Team Mechs versus Mechs fight of the other contests. What do you think of the idea? Now, I remember glancing that, but then like the clock was already getting late. I was still trying to wake up. I have to hit the restroom. I have to get a drink. Like right now, I'm going to probably take a drink because my voice is getting shot. I don't go as long as well as I used to. Well, my hand will search for that while I continue to read some of this off. But as you can see, it would then be not until I would get back in touch in 10.7, but not about that, because it was all dark, because, well, it was kind of said and done. I did talk to the other person who created the event, and I recall them saying something of the likes, I can't remember the name right now, I'm so fucking tired, but that, oh, well, things are pretty much already set up, and I'm like, okay, well, I can't, guarantee, but I'd love to kind of come in and have some fun with it. A lot happened in those times. For one, as far as I know, when I took some time off around August, after August, somewhere around in there, Kitten went missing, and she just never showed up again, and it became more and more evident that people are moving on and passing things on, because it's pretty much worried that she's either dead or just had enough. And I can kind of feel that sentiment to some degree. And then a bit after that, there's more things going wrong in life. On top, we lost Ozzy Osbourne this year, among other people. Some are not as broken up about, like Hulk Hogan, and I can understand why. Yeah, his track record was not great. But it's just, it's such a shit show out there. Tariffs mean I'm probably not going to be able to afford the hardware. Anyways, I got to carry on. So, anyways, a lot of shit's been happening. And then I furthermore had the news just come slamming down that, Crim's passed. I'm like, wait, what? Huh? And to this time, I'm still not even sure if I should ask how exactly. Because it might be a can of worms that people don't want to really go into. But we had some sailing stuff, that last month. With that in mind, I even missed my turn because I was just kind of fucked up. So things kind of still went into this month, and this month we had the service. And then on top of that, the night of the service, well, my mother heard from such and such pizza place, rather than having them deliver it. They're like, well, we're busy, it'll be a long time. She told me that they simply asked her to go pick it up because the fucking place was busy, which I guess is close enough to what the actual story then they told me, that they said, oh well, yeah, it was going to take over an hour and that we were kind of backed up. That was not included in that conversation that I had of that, but I can kind of understand. It's kind of a blur. Either way, it resulted in my mother backing up, not checking, and for some reason, the cat did not wake up. The cat did not move, and the cat that I, was getting even closer with, finally just, coming to hang out and pet, like, out on the outside table, because her normal spots indoors, there's some fleas about, and I've been bugging my mother about how, okay, your house has these ants. I can only do so much. We need to bug bomb the place. And it's like, I wiped it down. I'm like, that's not the problem. They're in the fucking walls. So now we also have ants, bees that are coming from fucking somewhere, look like hornets, but they don't seem to be attacking anybody, but they're dying in mounds by the front window, by the way. And just apparently there's some fleas out there where my cat would leap from thing to thing. And I know that behavior because I've seen some of our past cats do that when there was indeed fleas on the carpet out there where they go walking and the cat goes walking, so they start leaping from things like the chair because they think it's going to save them from this, being chewed and bounced on, which may work to a degree, but not great. So it's probably why she was spending all the more time outside, and often only coming in when she was really hungry, and I would get her in to eat here and there. And as such, I would just, she would be up on the table, so I would sit down. She was up for petting, and it was becoming more of a session thing. I finally had more time with the cat. And then, unfortunately, the cat didn't move, and her little head got partially run over, and somehow she was still alive briefly, it seemed, because my mother was holding her crying. And one eye just shifted from the eye socket, and just blood from the mouth. And then I pet her back, and I looked at it, and I saw the other side of the head, and then that's when I'm like, yeah, there's nothing I can do. It seemed that, literally right after I touched her back for the final time, her legs started doing the shake thing, and then drooped down to the side, and that was it. So it's been a real fuck show, and I really don't need fucking people going on about how, oh, did you get my message? Never ask me for anything ever again. And then fucking basically block me, whatever the fuck that is. Like, they're fucking justified. Just like we have people like Vanilla who are now never punished and now get to fucking DJ some fucking shit after 3 years. And because I flew a formation over them once on a straightaway, so it didn't affect their sailing that much, I had a past friend jump down my fucking cocksucking throat. Not to say that I'm into that, but I have friends who are. And just fucking ream me, leave the group, and now I have other people who leave the group, and people are like, oh, well, maybe you know what? Fine. I'm not stable enough. I'm not trustworthy enough. Here's the fucking further proof. If I have doubters, it's not going to change anything, because there's always going to be someone who thinks that maybe I changed logs or something too. But let's finish this off. Anyways, on the 7th of October, as I was informed that Tulagi was going to be doing, this other stuff, I think maybe a day or something ahead, and I said I would do it, and I didn't do it that other night, so then I went to go ahead and do it. Oh shit, I forgot to fucking transfer this fucking link, for all this stuff that I'm even saying this for. I'll go over it again in a moment after I share this fucking link. But yeah, I'm a little fucking unhinged. And can you fucking blame me when we live in a world where, because of whatever I am, for some reason I can be pulled over by police for walking with a leather hooded mask over my head because I didn't want to have frozen air down my throat for the entire fucking walk? Or how about me straightening out my back because I also then in warmer weather did a very long walk because I wanted to see if I could do it. And then because I'm doing that, I have fucking ShopRite call the cops on me. That's what I assume is going to fucking happen. And then they're asking me to leave the property, and I explained well, I was just going to stretch my back out and go in and get some chicken or something and eat that for lunch. And then they heard that, and apparently the cop told them that, and suddenly it was all fine because I had money to fucking spend. But nonetheless, that's 2 times I've been pulled over by fucking police doing nothing fucking wrong. And it's not because I'm a very off skin tone. It doesn't look like I'm from another country. It's, oh, well, guess what? We can go fucking rattle him. Because guess what? That's what's fucking in Tide. Fuck it. Alright? Literally some other pale-ass dude got fucking pulled over in another state recently for having a baby with him on a carrier on his chest. And someone said that he looked homeless and had a stolen baby. What the actual fuck? This is the fucking brains of the operations that we're just, doing this as if they're carrying a suitcase with a bomb. And yet for some reason, finding someone who looks really sus is suddenly not legal. Like, what? This is the shit I have to deal with. Anyways, I'm totally fucking getting sidetracked again. I'm just so fucking fed the fuck up. And nothing, I can't get hired. Why? No, because, oh, well, you have some nerd, you wouldn't be able to do the job. Hello, racist bitch. I found out that you just don't like us pale-faced folk. Oh my God. And then on top of that, you're going to tell me what my fucking nerve condition was? Oh, well, you don't have the hand strength. If I was a much less self-controlling person, you might have found out my fucking hand strength. But no, I had a little bit more control in that. I even smiled, walked away, after she basically explained that I wouldn't have the hand strength to open watches. Newsflash, bitch, you use leverage. I was even showed before I went to the interview that you decided I had to go fucking states over to go to, where you promptly let me fucking wait it out while you dust a fucking shelf right dead in fucking front of me, and then give me the shortest interview I've ever had in my fucking cock-sucking life. Fuck you. Fucking hoe in a fucking watch stand. Oh no, he's sexist. He said hoe. That's a bitch, folks. That's an old bitch who just don't like people that she blames everything else on from a different period that I was not alive or around for. I'm sorry, but whatever you had happen to you when you were a teenager was a fucking lifetime before me, okay? So you just be the racist bitch you are, but maybe not let it show so much, because the next time I go there, I might very well ask questions about that and leave a phone on record, and I highly doubt she watches my channel to first proof. And then, of course, I'll, be held accountable for recording someone in public that you're not supposed to, supposedly. Because that's the shit show, no accountability. Oh, hold someone accountable who's more valuable than you are? Oops, that's against the law. Supposedly, out of nowhere. Because that's just how it is. So, yeah, I'm going to have my fucking thoughts and probably get ripped off of YouTube for it, and I don't fucking care anymore. Hell, I'll probably be kicked out of Second Life, and it'll be unfortunate that the little Lindens in the corner will be gone too, which is probably worth, I don't know, $20. I did not put money into the game. I did dealings, I did a part, I try to sell things, I try to test the things, I try and really put that work into it. I run fucking flights like fucking 5 times a week over 4 days and do this hunt for some stuff on YouTube everyone can watch royalty free. And oh, I'm sorry, if that's supposedly bad or wrong, then you better have a conversation with the uploader or YouTube, the platform itself. See how that slippery slope goes and how you're gonna like it when suddenly you have to tell the world, oh, well, whatever you watch on YouTube and go into and you don't know better, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you're accountable, well, you're accountable, you're accountable. Yeah, okay. So where's the accountability of someone who literally ran for fucking office, said there was a list, then said there was no list, and suddenly everyone believes that shit, but then other people don't believe that shit, but then there's other shit like, oh, well, the server was suddenly just lost or dumped in a pond. We lost the files for that. Come on. Both sides of the fucking politics table is a shit show. And people that are so fucking far on either side or are going to get ramshackled right into their proxy wars, which they will have tea and watch you, because guess what? Only a few of them ever get their houses smashed up over it. And when they do, suddenly they change their tune about how all of it's got to stop. Double standards across the board. That's your crowns and corpos for you. I know I sound like a tinfoil hat motherfucker, but that's probably because society's put me there. I'm probably going to actually consider a fucking literal tinfoil hat, because it'll probably at least keep me from pulling my fucking hair out the way that this shit's going. Alright, I got sidetracked again. But someone I need to watch my channel and I isn't watching it because I've totally not gone to it. But yeah, I'm unhinged. I'm just fucking finally unhinged. It's like, oh no, he's unhinged. He's a fucking hazard to society. What the fuck am I gonna do? Hobble along and dare to take up space in the back of a police car that offers me a ride again for fucking existing, fuck that. Fuck you. None of that shit makes sense. That's me now addressing the outside world. Now to my friend, that granted understands why I'm at least probably a little unhinged, I'm going to guess. Let's do that. How far am I in on this fucking video? I'll put it down in the comments as to where the actual better set of evidence is going to be. Because, yeah, I'm not in a good way. After all the shit, people dying, yeah, it's 20 minutes in, holy shit. Alright, so, yeah, I guess you don't have to watch the video. It's fine. If it doesn't concern you, fine. If you want to be nosy, by all means, I welcome you, because that's why I'm partially ranting like this, as I try and focus just enough in my sleep-addled fucking brain that's been twisted by a bunch of people saying, oh, well, you're not trustable, or oh, they won't say that, but then their actions always speak louder than words. Even when I supply evidence, it's never going to matter. It's never going to be enough if it's not the narrative they want. And frankly, it's like why I don't allow politics and coalition. You know why? Because then they fight about it, and neither side will often budge. And if there is one, then they'll budge completely under them. There's no realistic center line among many. And I guess that's my own stance. And if you have a side you really, really think it's working for you, I just beg to differ, but maybe there's something in there. At least what looks like on policy on paper is going to help you. But it's not worth losing your family over. It's not worth losing friends over. And so I just tell people, look, just don't go into it. It never goes well. God, I'm having trouble getting my own fucking channel right now. I thought I could just click my thing in the corner and then, oh, I missed the blue text 3 times. I'm so fucking tired. Alright, right, I'll just hit this live thing here right now. Let me set the browser, pause that, because I don't need to hear myself. I'm sure plenty of other people don't even want to hear me. And that's fine. They never believe me anyway. This is me sending... Okay, and I will be like, let me know when you're watching. Because I just spent 20 minutes ranting about shit nobody cares about. Alright, so I have a little bit to drink left. I talk too fucking much, I get it. I'm losing my voice. I'm thirsty. This is the one day I, you know, eat a bit more in the way of some cheese balls instead of a genuine lunch. And I will very much have a salad late at night too, by the way, to spread out the carbs and whatnot, because I try not to sugar spike myself horribly. And so I kind of ease into it and have a bit of that. And it's my little thing. Oh, you're watching? Okay, cool. Let's get into it. So, let's see here. Right. Oh, I had literally enlarged the wrong fucking screen. I'm so dumb. Let's see. Alright, so there we go. Okay, so now that we know that we have this bit up here, oh god, I'm gonna have to just read it again. Okay, ahoy Captain, I don't know if you have seen notices in driver's group, which I did not, but there's 10 tribe thin, which I then also was contacted by that tribe person and they said that it was pretty much all set for the year and all things like that. I'm like, all right, well, I don't know if I can get in on it, but I'd still love to be there and show up. And I even asked, I thought I asked at some point a reminder, because my memory is shot. There's so much shit going on, so many things that are running. I try to run my regular schedule, and, you know, with things that already take my attention of who's talking what shit, what, when, where, and if it's all going okay, and what's coming up next. Anyways, I thought some of the salty air dogs might want to get involved with things like the team mech versus mech. Again, that other person went into that with me, I didn't really thoroughly read this, and if I did, I really had to skim it. I was waking up. I tried to go over my messages for something critical or some stuff like that, and I figured, okay, well, I did talk to someone. At least I think I figured that. But anyways, or other contests, what do you think of the idea? So a question was asked to me. Sure enough, I did not get back to them. God forbid. It's not like there's been times where I asked her or talked to her or some shit and I didn't get a fucking throwback. So then it comes up in the 10-7. And then I let her know because already I'm late getting to doing the thing that I said I would do after I was going to get Valdi to sleep. And I'll come out and I'll go clean the stuff up. I was just fucking drawn out tired. I haven't even, my schedule's been shifting. I'm sure it happens to all of us. Hell, it's been happening to everybody else, as they tell me. So, anyways, I was like, hey, Yorkie, your one drink tap may get returned in Tulagi. Not that we don't want it, just that Warship is rebuilding Tulagi. So we'll have to set back up after the revisions are done. Just wanted to give you a heads up. If you want to pick it up instead, though, that's cool too. Like, I already know that when I'm talking with Yorkie, it can be whichever way. She can be a little fanatical sometimes. And I get that, you know. People piss her off. I get it. And not everyone is expected to bite it back as hard as I do. Because I've been in some shit. But anyways, let's see. And I was like, same with the other drink goodies and such you have here. Now out of nowhere, I get a, did you get the message I sent you weeks ago? Question mark. Goodbye, Street. Don't ever ask anything of me again. And as you can see from timestamp, well, I guess she chose to follow that up later with the 15-minute. Was there anything else in between? No, there was not. If you want, this is me giving my expressed permission for her to release her IMs as well in either stream form or even copy paste. And if it does come up different, I don't know, maybe people just really want to do me for that or something like that. I did not change mine. So sure enough, I'm like, oh, hey there, but why? What happened? Just, you know, I'm already in a bit like, what the hell happened now? I'm like, did I miss a message pass? So I scrolled up to get a reminder, and I'm like, I don't understand why you're upset with me. And I'm like, oh, the tribes event thing? I was in touch with someone else about it who launches it, but the event was said to be pretty much already planned out. A lot has been happening. People dying, my cat got run over. You know, I'm sure it's just my bullshit excuses. You know, that's what it sounds like, right? And trying to keep up with it all. And I went on to say, that doesn't seem fair. And at this point, I figure she's probably muted me, but I said, why are you flipping out on me like this? I would go on to say, let's see. Right, I have a long-ass name because it's screen name plus my agent name. Does this mean you don't want us to be at the camp out later this month either? Did not answer. So I put a question mark because I missed that. And then I try to give a little time because I realize I have a habit that if you don't answer, I might still ask you some more questions, trying to get you to talk, or another thing pops in my mind that maybe I missed or should bring up. But I was trying not to do that. Apparently it didn't help anyways. But anyways, let's see. Because that's what it sounds like. This feels kind of sad, unfortunate, and not very responsible because I wanted that message back. Because she was not messaging me, and it felt very unfair. It does not feel like a responsible human being on this side. And now guess what? You know, after all the shit, maybe I'm not going to be a responsible human being because I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off. I'm tired. I'm sad in a level that I've been trying to fucking hide. Not perfectly hide, but, you know, at least trying to be a little chipper, not to let the fact that people are dying, my cat's gone, Nobody ever fucking believes me when I say shit. Other people think that, you know, I'm trying to create these major situations. And dare if I ever fucking come up and say anything back live on the spot, I'll probably be kicked off the set myself, or I hear about, oh, let's get away with the drama. How about the fact that this other person said such and such, and nobody ever fucking says anything until big scary dude like me comes up and says something back? Why is that? Is it because of my privilege? Is it because of, oh, like maybe now I'm wrong for even bringing that up. It's such a fucking walking on eggshells world now. Comedy's hit the shitter for it for the longest fucking time. Gaming has hit the shitter for the longest time as things get censored and, oh, well, having pretty girls is literally killing the women's. No, it's not. I literally have friends that are also girls that like looking at the women's. I don't go after you for having a fucking firefighter calendar. If that makes you happy, fine. As long as I'm not catching some guy doing a twirl, let's spin to cock smack me in the face. Which is literally what life feels like a good chunk of the time. It's just not my thing. If it's your thing, it's great. I don't care. Everybody's got their thing. Everyone's got their weird shit. As long as you're not going after the itty bitty kids like Jared from Subway, or, you know, actively trying to fuck up everybody's home life or things that they've worked hard on, that's cool. Okay? Hell, I wish they would make another Senran Kagura game. It's a bunch of ninja girls who then shoot, like, fireball or whatever each other's clothes off. You know why? Because it's fucking funny. The writing is actually good. Probably better than it ought to be for a game about ninja girls smashing each other's clothes off occasionally. But I enjoy it. It's what I found fun. And the thing that really drew me to it is that there was actually finally another character that has, like Samurai Showdown, a character with blast gauntlets. Not just one, but two of them. So they can just fucking punch your head and kablow. I liked that shit. And it was fun. The writing then really backed up the thing, which is good. Because when I first saw it, it was like on a PlayStation Portable or Vita or something. Imported. And I was like, man, that looks funny as shit. It looks fun, but there's no way that's going to make it to the United States. Boy, was I fucking wrong. In the age where so much was already censorship and all this other, somehow that game made it. And I played it, and it was worth it. It was fun. It was glorious. And I really wish we'd get yet another one, because the ones that did come out, I picked up when I had that coin to do so. So, right, I guess I should look back here, because I can't see my own YouTube chat. I'm very quiet. Well, you know, hopefully you could run the video back, crank it up. All my further explanation thing, even though I started doing it earlier, will totally come up. It's why I know my voice is quiet. I've tried to work various things with the sound settings. I'm a fucking idiot. I don't have a sound engineer. And, well, nobody watches my shit anyway. So, but all visually, this stuff is here. Well, that's now not highlighted. Which I have to get to Yorkie here, who's no longer on my friends list, York, here. Because I was muted and unfriended, as far as I know. And if they didn't mute me, they sure were acting like it, and they sure as fuck kicked my asshole to the side, but I'm the one who suddenly doesn't appreciate friends. Oh, I'm sorry, it's just I literally had a friend shit down my neck the moment I did a fucking formation to bullet point the fact that we won't always be talked shit to and not be able to do something. But guess what? I guess it's literally true. Because how dare I, like Gretchen, just show up on a fucking stage and fucking show that I can have a formation of a sky carrier and some planes over a bitch who's been tormenting me for years and now gets the fucking privilege of being a DJ. Why? Prettier avatar? Maybe. Money? Possibly. Some history stuff with the sailing? Yeah, I get that to a degree. But it doesn't make it right. And they were also going to apparently not only make her an officer, but they were also thinking about conforming to their stipulations for it. Thankfully, apparently, that didn't come to fruition. As far as I know, unless I'm being bullshitted to, or they reverse the decision, because I'm an unhinged fucking call me what you will guy who's been otherwise tried to just, I like what I like. Nothing illegal, although it seems like they're trying. Punk ass bitches like Collective Shout, shitheads like MasterCard and Visa, which, granted, they're smart enough to know what they're doing, as they put, apparently, the Shout is going to take all that hard hit as they keep passing the blame completely to them. They're all fucking guilty. But because there's other shit going on in the background where, quite frankly, Visa and MasterCard is testing the waters of what they can force out so they can influence a market. You don't have to be full insider trading if you get to control the direction of the trading, and can probably also have an easy little AI thing that picks up trends and then just fund, and they will become even more valuable than they are now. Or the fact that, well, we already saw Google try to, whip their schlong out and dip that sucker into the gaming market to fatally hilarious degrees. But it's a profitable market. And I'm not so sure that Visa and MasterCard isn't trying to literally chop off Nancy Kerrigan style, at least club Valve in the kneecaps, so there'll be a little bit more space in that gaming digital market where they then can come in and like, oh, buy from us, we're even our own payment plan. And it's all safe, see? We're doing all the things, right? See? No, you're a censorship fucking book-burning whore of the new age. Fuck you, MasterCard. Fuck you, Visa. And shove it up your ass. Right up in there. Take your plastic, run it down the card reader that is your cheeks, and get fucked. And of course, I'm sure this will get, like, whatever, claimed or whatnot for talking. I don't fucking care anymore. I am unhinged now. I'm not so unhinged I'm going to hurt anybody. And when I'm out on the fucking, beat, I keep it generally pretty well tucked away. Why? Because the moment I'm angry and even do a silent demonstration, responsibly as far as I'm fucking concerned, I'm the bad guy at any given fucking moment. Well, as the fucking thumbnail says, well, before I get to that, the evidence is out on here. I have what's, happened. I've scrolled it through. There's nothing else I can do to prove anything. Because I could have changed the logs if I could find somewhere in the fucking, my disorganized shit that is, Firestorm's logs and shit like that. I generally don't try to look into that until I have to delete everything. Like, to the point where I'm not even going to save my settings, because if Firestorm's acting a fool, I don't want those settings back. I will redo the things like my quick jumps, my graphical settings. I don't even keep, like, my graphical settings to the pre-saves. It's called, hey, if I can do the graphic for, like, I'm in this little enclosed space, 128 runs better literally on this than running it between mid and high on 288 after any given amount of time, when I used to be able to push that shit to 360. Like that. And now when I do that and, like, turn around or move around some places, it becomes a crunch-ass shit show. So, yeah, I just hit that refresh and then just shove to there or just shove it to there. Either way, it works. And I still fly through it. I try to keep people encouraged to fly through it. It's tough. I've lost several people over that. And I don't need other shit like people that, finding new reasons for me to be the ultimate bad guy. I mean, God fucking forbid I do become that bad guy. Because, yeah, there's probably some shit in my inventory from old ages I could go ape shit with. Why is it there? Because people trust it with me and it's filed away in boxes with warnings. But I won't. For one, I probably can't fucking find the shit. But I know people who can. And I don't need to ask for that. The most risque thing I fucking do in Second Life is I have some fucking critical thoughts of some dumb decisions that some Linden Labs makes, but at least they're fucking trying to keep it afloat. I get it. It's hard. But when you do stupid shit like tell people, oh, well, there's now a strike on your profile because we found your plane out somewhere. Oh, I'm sorry that your fucking border system sends your shit off into the fucking horizon and stops where I can't fucking find it. I said it in nicer terms at the time. I in fact took a pleading approach. Like, please don't, like, fracture the good standing of my account because of some shit that I can't control. And when they go on then with another retort, oh, well, you could just put a de-resolution script in it. Okay, that's a dangerous thing to consider, because what if those no copy items and people are flying out there, which is already not good. You're probably going to lose that thing. It's probably going to get scrambled. But there's plenty of aircraft, vehicles of all sorts that are made no mod by the creators, and even if it was then made regulation where they have to, or at least have to have a script that makes it go away on its own, what happens to all the backlog of items of why people probably in part stay in Second Life? Because their shit is at least continual, well, they can keep it for a future date, and you're going to suddenly tell them that their account can be warned because they lost a vehicle due to your fucking handshake system failing? Yeah, well, I kind of did, like I said, a much nicer version, and lo and behold, that was removed as a warning by another Linden that also contacted me. And then I got word from other people that, yeah, apparently they're walking a lot of that stuff back, and that same person's not there anymore. I took that little fucking victory. I'll never be credited for it, because I don't write a huge fucking article. I'm not a huge fucking channel. Hell, I don't have the biggest fucking following because I'm not someone who tosses money like it's fucking candy. I can't afford it. I mean, God bless the nice ones that do. Like, Drivers is big. It's huge. There's money to be put into it. I don't have that kind of money. And if I did put what savings I have left, I have nothing left for myself because, well, again, I have, like, some nerve damage, as I've gone on this channel before. Jobs don't want me. Come up with excuses. I'm not worth any kind of special social score because I'm not officially handicapped. My paycheck wouldn't be half offset by the state or whoever takes care of that. I'm not, I guess, a shade of something that is good to have on video or something like that when people are going to get their companies evaluated for stocks selling and whatnot, which, you know, I'm going to be shot down for saying it, but it feels like just racism on the shoe on the other foot. I'm sorry, that just feels like we just took a trip back to the 60s, only in reverso land. I don't see where it helps. I think every kind of person should be in on a company, fine. But when you're trying to balance out the numbers so perfectly for everything and every shade under the sun, to the point where people are being told that they have no place here on the job because of their tone, how is that any different than the people that were getting fucked in the 60s? Which was, again, shoe on another foot. It's just another racism. I don't think it's the way to go forward. The whole concept of, a lot from what I understood in my youth and that we pushed, is that the idea is to be colorblind, to not judge people on what their personal bits are. If they can be gotten along with, do a job, you know, work well with others. This was the hallmark of what I was brought up with. And now I'm told there's no place for me in it. Because, oh, well, you have this nerve damage. So, all right, I already have that against me, I know. Oh, well, you're also not officially handicapped, so we could not. Okay, I understand that. Oh, well, yeah, you're also not worth this score. Thanks. So I have everything working against me. I know I'll be considered racist for even saying it. I just don't think we should be answering racism with racism. And I'm on a tirade of all sorts of stuff. That'll probably get me kicked out of the door. It's not the thing people want to hear. Everybody's the extreme one way or extreme the other way. Why can't we do what we used to do? We're these pencil-neck bastards that were at least not sending people into wars on our own soil because of difference of opinion. We literally have multiple rogue state and rogue city situations now. And frankly, there's been fuck ups on both sides yet again. If you have people that are throwing things at vehicles and doing snatch and grabs out of the stores, your little neon yellow police officers on bicycles should be taking care of that and maybe not releasing them the next day. On top of that, that's probably why you now have a crazy orange man sending literally military into it, because you're not handling your own shit. And then that is super hyperbolic going in the other way. Because I do have to admit, the first time years and years and years ago that I saw an armored vehicle roll into a town because, well, it's military surplus, they started adopting it to the police department, not ICE, but actual police departments, I got a little concerned. A little bit. Which I also felt bad about, because in high school I was like, well, Tank Police is a cool anime, and if they see a bunch of tanks, maybe they'll just fucking go away. Unfortunately, I learned very quickly that's not how world works. Just like an arms race in wars, you're inviting an arms race at home. So if you start packing a Tommy gun, your enemies are probably also going to consider what's next on how they can one-up that. And it's just an escalating shit show. I hate it. But I know there's nothing I can do about it other than having a thought about it, and then I get shot at for it. Granted, not by bullets, yet. But by golly. One side's sending military, and the other side's 2 for 2 on sniping rounds. It's... Jesus. This is what we've come to. But anyways, let me see. Are you like... I'm sure you're bored with hearing me rant about shit, or even angry with me at this point. Or if you can't even hear me. But yeah, you gotta crank PC volume up and shit like that, because my mic setup, it's not great. I don't have all the monies. I don't have all the special software. I've tried cranking 2 different inputs, and it's just not super cool about it. I have to use part of this pillow here as an over top thing to keep it from bouncing back sound over there. So yeah, Pillow, if you're still there and watching, feel free to just throw a thought at me or something. There it goes. Just listening, yeah. Pissed off at me yet? Because I guess there's a line now. Because everyone is so against everyone else. I just wanted a place that maybe was a little better than real life, because my back was pretty much fucked up for me trying way too fucking hard to keep up slamming up a big heavy gate even on a day that I was not in a good condition for it. Because to a fucking detriment, my sense of duty is probably what fucking did me in, and yet that sense of duty was not committed to military, which I end up hearing flack for that. Look, when a thing came up with Randstad, I took it for a little while, because that contract was only going to last a little while anyway, and it meant that I could, just tell my arcade I'm going on a little bit of a brief personal vacation. I realize I'm probably not going to get paid for it. I did a couple times when taking time off earlier on with the arcade managing thing, but sure enough, later on, that was definitely on my dime if I was going to take a staycation off for what used to be 1 month. Then it cycled to, 3 weeks, then 2, then 1, then I just didn't take time off at all anymore. And a lot of people, oh, your whole job's a vacation. Ha ha ha. Fuck you. No job is always a vacation. Especially when you have people that are pissed off because they don't think that it makes sense that they don't get this refund that they literally played either the game through or walked away from because they didn't want it, and that you're supposed to just give them all that shit back, and your company's very well going to be pissed off at you if you're fucking giving away free money. It's like, okay, well, I'll get this working, and you can play that again, but I can't be just throwing money away to people. That's not how we do things here. You can call the company, but it's not my call. You try the best you can. And most times it was pretty mellow there. I liked the job. I was in control just enough of my own zone that people that needed help were getting it. People like to talk games. I can talk games for hours. Well, at least I used to. It's just been shit. And I guess, quite frankly, comment sections of shit on, like, YouTube. Which is just based on inaccurate info. Maybe. But that's what then the other side thinks too. Then this other side thinks too. And then I really watch the news on both sides. And I've seen people in the black masks come up from side streets and just fucking go at people. And that was long before this current administration. I've seen 2 snipe shots come down. One of them landed in a neck. Even if you don't agree with him, and even if you think he's a piece of shit, I don't see where he was a threat so badly that it probably warranted popping a bullet in his jugular. If anything, it really just kind of gave more fuel to the fire against that direction. And a bunch of people voted for a crazy orange guy. Why? Because a bunch of them were literally told, myself included, in more situations than one, that, oh, well, you shouldn't have a voice. Oh, some man is trying to talk. Some man is doing this. Oh, well, you're white. You shouldn't have an opinion. To the point where, guess what? Most of my local friends that also don't hang around much anymore were also saying, man, you're the one who has to deal with the shit ton of this right now. And those were usually my friends that were either black and Filipino. Well, that was a lot of it in the bits, but I have some Spanish friends and whatnot too. I'm trying to think of the last friend that I even had that was like pale like me. Feels like it should be the name of a movie at this point, Pale Like Me, only then it would be horribly racist. Kind of like the person who dared to put a piece of paper up that says it's okay to be white. Somehow that's racist. It's okay to be this thing. So, you know, you be you. That's racist. Oh gosh. It was probably a social experiment, and it flew with flying colors. It probably proved their point. You see, that could be just also, except every city being invaded has had their crime rates going down recently. Well, that could be said a couple things. One, I have already been watching videos where they're literally showing people doing flash mobs across shopping malls. Like big numbers. Footage that is not AI. It is not this industrial lights and sound footage. It's like when I was doubted about that one certain official going off about, oh, well, you should go chase them out of restaurants because they don't belong. I'm sorry, that's only kind of civil terrorism. And then, if that wasn't enough, someone else recently brought that footage back up and then made a huge set of clips of compilation as if none of that mattered. So yes, there's problems on very much both sides, and both sides are going to bend the argument like they always fucking do, because they're owned by 2 sets of companies, and usually one is with one side of the government or the other. I mean, I could go find something. Like, let's see here, because I believe in the concept of receipts. I get it. Right, I have Edge set up to just instantly go to the browser here. And apparently he was interrupted and they ushered 2 guys out for saying that there should be a side-by-side country thing. There probably should be. I mean, this fight is partially going on because one side was given complete reign over the area. As in, okay, this is yours, but the thing is there was 2 kinds of people already in the area. And one was basically saying that they can't have a thing. which I can kind of see why they're pissed. Now, the whole concept of completely free Palestine, I think it would have probably been better off to say, look, here's your side, here's your side. Now stop doing this shit. Do I believe this guy is going to suddenly end all those years of people going at back and forth? Two sides that honestly really don't feel like they want to stop. They'll say it. Looks good on paper. But the fact that even when one side's not doing a thing and then there's a preemptive strike, which granted there's already people who were then ran from the other side before that, years before that, and took hostages. Like from a music festival, for fuck's sakes. These people are very war-minded. And it's not because of what genetics or something like that. It's because this is what they grow up around, that this is the expectation probably of their upbringing, and it's unfortunate. And probably them picking their own sides and willing to live and let live is really the best you could hope for. But I haven't seen them do that. I hope they prove me wrong. But who knows? Maybe it'll happen. Do I think it's going to happen right here like this when there's literally already two lawmakers that are saying, oh, well, then why are you not making it two thing, and then ushered right out? Oh, yeah, it sounds like everybody's totally on board that everyone's going to suddenly just get up and be friendly when this whole 20-point plan suddenly lands. Okay. We'll see how that Shark Tank comes out. I don't expect much. Right, what was I going to look for? Oh, yeah. Where's this one guy? Fuck it. I'll just Google it. Actually, I YouTube it. I think this is why YouTube was eventually bought by Google. Because at one time, I just literally stopped using Google because YouTube was making more relevant answers. Then Google bought YouTube. Then suddenly Google got a lot better at their search, and the algorithm stuff I'm pretty sure they took and hauled over to Google. But anyways, flash mob robberies. This feels like it would probably pull something out. I'm doing this off the cuff. Yeah, here we go. Right off the bat, ABC News. I forget, what side is ABC News on?
Let's see. Crackdown, authorities growing increasingly concerned after a wave of what they call smash and grab robberies. Groups of people swarming stores, Nordstrom's and other high-end stores, and then making off with thousands of dollars worth of goods. Here's ABC's Kaylee Hartung with the images tonight.
Tonight, a rash of smash and grab thefts targeting retailers around the country, just as the holiday shopping season picks up. In California, the Bay Area suddenly seeing mobs of people ambushing stores.
California, that crime rate's down. But it really is
Over the
not.
weekend in Walnut Creek,
Everybody's
80 thieves
pissed off.
storming a Nordstrom. Some even assaulting employees before they ran out with merchandise in hand and getaway cars.
Probably saw 50 to 80 people in like ski masks, crowbars, like a bunch of weapons.
But
And
yeah,
in
throw
San
me some links.
Francisco,
I'll throw
more
those
than
up
$1
too.
million in merchandise was stolen after as many as 100 people rushed several stores, including this Louis Vuitton.
This smash
Look, I
and
have
grab
no
shit's
sympathy,
not even
no
new.
empathy whatsoever.
This isn't
People
even the big
smashing,
one.
Grabbing, stealing people's items, creating havoc and terror on our streets.
Tonight, the governor lashing out at the recent spate of crimes.
We want real accountability. We want people prosecuted, and we want people to feel safe.
And David, as we head into the holiday season,
All right, let's
Governor
put smash
Newsom
and
says
grab
shoppers
entire
across
mall.
California.
Because I have to admit, the algorithm's really, really good, like these days. This is probably the one we just watched here, I think. And it's not Fox News, because I understand. They're very much, very hardcore right side. So, you know, I'm pretty sure ABC's left. I could be wrong. It's so hard to keep track anymore. I just take it all in when I have some time and I just don't feel like moving my hands much. Because, you know, reasons, nerve damage, pain, bad weather that makes it worse. Let's see, is this the one? I might
Tonight,
skip
popular
around a
California
little bit.
big's high-end
I'm trying to
store
find, like,
thieves, sometimes in the dozens, surge into a
that
store in
feels like
California.
that's
like
just
a bunch
the
of
stores
Door
again.
weaving between
I'm looking for
frightened
the one that was this
big, one
huge
truck
mall,
appears
and there was like
Enough
just a
people.
huge,
Still,
like
shoppers
huge
on edge as brazen
swath
crime.
of people that came like out of it after going into it. It's wild. Maybe this is it.
Business owners and customers are on edge in Concord after the latest smash and grab break. Were all arrested early yesterday morning.
Oh, they got him for once.
It's a
Great.
crime happening across the Bay Area.
I want to see
Here
if they
in
show the
Concord,
footage,
it's
though.
happening
It
all
was
too often.
wild.
And folks we spoke with say simply they want something to change.
This might not have the footage, though, unfortunately.
It every day.
Because, oh my goodness, it
Not
was...
heard back into a jewelry store. This was
Well, I
in
guess
San
there's
Jose
some of
last
that,
month.
but I
And in
want the
San Ramon,
outside
at least
view. Look at
20
that.
thieves stormed
Look at
into
all
a jewelry
that.
store at the city
Look how
center. Bishop
many.
Land stealing more than $1 million worth of items.
That's
Seven
not a low
suspects have
crime
also been
rate.
arrested in that.
That's a
robbery.
lot of
Okay,
people. Granted, this guy might be on the other. This
Thank
is
you to
Fox
Ground
News.
News for sponsoring
This guy
this
is
video.
very much
Just
on
really
the
putting
other
us straight
side of
on
it.
the
But let's
business.
take a look.
We did modify.
I understand he might be
Collect
discounted
cash
because he was
register
on
and
the
then
other
going
side
to
of
the
the
back
aisle.
room.
What are they stealing?
But this,
Wine. No kidding.
this guy's like knocking stuff backwards. His truck
no
through
cash
to
or
do a
anything. They're
smash and
just coming
grab
for
wine.
Yeah, the big windows are expensive.
I'll pause this for just a moment. Eventually, they were going into like how it made very much sense that they'll start with this little stuff, but because there's no accountability, they're getting all the practice in the world to move up to the jewelry stores, where then it's like 20 and 30 people all working together for a smash and grab, and they're just gone. Let's see
Even a
here.
store with zero.
Yeah, this might actually
has
be
things
part
of
of it here.
value inside and may have other items worth taking as well. Perhaps there's money in the register. Perhaps there's a safe full of
Dude, we're
valuables,
through the
or a
wall.
computer, or a cell phone, or someone's passport or driver's license. Revealing that when you're a full-time criminal in a no consequences environment, it makes sense to break into as many places as you can because there's a market for just about everything. And that
Matter of fact, I'm going to stop it right there. This goes to the whole concept of what I deal with in Second Life. Because when there's no consequences to keep taking shots at the motherfucker who's just flying and trying to keep something fun running, they're just going to keep doing it. Why not stop? Well, why stop when it's their entertainment and not a single one of them gets punished for it? Vanilla will never be punished for it. Will never be expected to apologize even. Yorkie can take a fucking shot at my fucking face, like verbally, mind you. At least it would have been a little bit more truthful if they felt that, you know, they could come up and give me a thwack on the chin. At least let me know, hey, we got fists to fly. I'm like, well, I'm in shit condition now and I don't want to hurt you. But if you really feel you got to, at least it would be better than just, you know, being so wonderfully brave to basically do what Vanilla used to do. Ah, rah, 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 you're ruining my experience. Blocked. Full caps thetes. And then just go on their way and then continue to talk shit and try and... They even one time threw a message about how, oh, the pirates say that they always stay above mast. And then it was fine for her to say that. But then the moment I say something like, actually, that's incorrect. We stay above mast in areas where there's 3 boats or more. In something that's 80% or less water. And then suddenly when I said that, it's, oh, well, stop your drama or something like that. It was, let me try and let my memories connect just a moment with my fucked up, tired neurons. It was like, oh, stop fighting, children. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It was something like that. I imagine how easy it is to then throw that because someone answers back instead of just the popular girl. The pretty avatar that throws money. And that's the shit I deal with. Sitting back, choosing to let them do it. Yeah, the cops are really not helping a lot of these situations. Granted, it sounds like they did eventually catch them. That's something. But here's the other part about this guy that he has also talked about. Is that they do get caught, yeah. But here's the thing. In a lot of these states, the prison system becomes a revolving door. They're put out on bail, maybe not even bail, like right after it happens. We'll go into a video that has
brings
that.
us to the real reason no business is safe here, even if it has a safe.
That's an
We're
alarm that I should
talking
be taking
about a
pills
place
soon.
that protects
I'll
criminals
put that over here
and
and put that
illegal
off for a little
immigrants.
bit.
And if you're going to encourage lawlessness of all kinds, of course you're going to have crime problems. And even if these criminals get busted, theft here is
Here it
just
is.
a misdemeanor in most cases, which means nobody goes to jail for, say, breaking into a local business and causing thousands of dollars in damages because the amount they stole wasn't quite big enough. Even though the act of breaking into some of these businesses is closing down places progressives think shouldn't have a crime problem at all.
Their name is about as recognizable as their famous orange dome-shaped building. Mark's Hot Dogs has been in business since 1936, nearly 90 years of serving East Side San Jose. But owner Mark McLean says a rash of burglaries is making it hard to keep the doors open.
A hot dog stand. Why is a hot dog stand getting robbed repeatedly? Well, the answer is simple. There's nobody around to stop the crime, and the criminal's not afraid of anything. But this is turning into a statewide epidemic that has residents and local business owners on edge, wondering if crime is this bad today, what are they going to be faced with tomorrow? And sadly, as you're about to see, some of these places won't even be around tomorrow to find out. Right after we find out about today's video sponsor.
Yeah, let's not. So some of that you can disagree with, fine, but the case in point, the crime rate's not that far down. When you have organized things pulling shit like off of a cartoon of cops, or, gosh, what's another good thing? Like the opening of Batman with the Joker that everybody likes. Heath Ledger's, like literally smacking in with a fucking truck and robbing in grand numbers and then just making a getaway. But this is happening rapidly of what used to be like a media-centric moment because it's a rare incident that's not rare anymore. That's heavy. That's not a low crime rate. Hot dog stands that are talking about going out of business, talking about not coming back after repeated robberies. I mean, we can doubt this one guy because he's indeed on the right. Like, I'm sure people will. But this entire story, the footage, it is what it is. Let's see. What's another thing that we can go over here? Find them and figure out that criminals avoiding being caught. Because they said a bunch of them got caught. But that's the other problem. If it's not considered enough to be hyper costly and thus not prison time, it becomes a revolving door. They're still getting practice to do it again. Sits in this, can't take anything he's saying on good faith. Exactly. But that's both sides on anything the other side says. And both sides are amping either things up, their own opinion, and are not working in the middle to research it. Meanwhile, I grab things from both sides. And even on ABC, isn't ABC like a more left-centric? Even they're covering about how shit is breaking out across the fucking countries on crime. That's not a low crime rate. That's just more politicians glazing. Basically sugarcoating it. It's glazing. It's what some are saying in Helldivers now. We need less glaze divers. Because it's not all pretty and sparkles. There's serious shit. It's very much there, and both sides are going to twist their own narrative on it. Right, that's my stream thing there. Oop, that's the wrong set of browsers, which thankfully is not set up there, because let's just say one of my browsers occasionally stops by, like, Rule 34. Let's see here. I gotta get Edge up here. There we go. I got way too many windows up right now. Let me see something that's more... I don't know, did you have a link for me that you wanted me to throw up there? Because I'm an open forum. I try to just tell people it's not worth it to lose friends over it, but, you know, if we can have a back and, forth in here and there, by all means, show me the other side. I want it all. Because when I get into it and I'm ready for it, and I don't need a break from it, because, oh my God, every time I leave out the door, it's more politics. I hear about then the other side of the politics across things online. I get kicked out for not jumping on either bandwagon. As the famous quote says, it's difficult to be in the center because then you get pelted by both sides. But at least I guess I'm in my box of a room that I don't have to do the thing. And one of these days, history is going to show just how turbulent two different sides were not trying to meet in the middle. I'm actually kind of interested to see how long the current government shutdown is going to be. Is it still going? I assume it is. I really do. I remember the last time this shit happened was like, what, a decade ago? Oh, I'm sorry. Farther back than that. At least I think. I don't know. I don't keep track of a lot of it. But I was living in a place called Riverside. And there was cars rolling around without license plates because there was no fucking open DMV. Because shit was shut down. Let's see. Yeah, I figured. And then each side is going to say it's completely the other side. Why? Because again, it's set of news stations versus set against of other news stations, each working for either side. And they're going to skip over the part that's not good for their part of the story. They're both going to do it. They both do it. I actually check in with as many independent little bits of people that go over it, because a lot of the time, the ones that are willing to indeed say, yeah, and this dude said this stupid shit and looks bonkers as hell, and yet that's not helping this on the other side, those are the ones I really like to key in on. But to also get where they're getting their thoughts, I like to go across both sets of news stations, and in between, like, I'll just go on a fucking tear. Because I'm not going to get lynched by YouTube as far as I know. I'm not going to get shot. I'm not going to have everybody hate me because I disagree with something. It's a zone that I can just kind of hang by myself and go over the spread. And my algorithm does not lean one way or the other. And if it does, I will blatantly punch in looking for what I'm looking for. I will not be falsely steered by MSN or Google or any of them, because quite frankly, if I need to, I'll go on fucking GoDaddy. And as far as I know, stuff like GoDaddy or that one other duck browser, I can't remember the name of it right now. There's all kinds of ways. Like when you log out of Google alone, it becomes a very different set of research results. Like they don't know what to spoon feed you to make you happy. So you do get it all just across the bit. Meanwhile, you go in under your account, suddenly it's the things that are going to keep you glued. Period. That's what the algorithm's for. And to an extent, it makes sense. It's doing the algorithm's job, things that a person is individually interested in. And I'm not going to say, oh, well, it's all this horrible data gathering. Yeah, some of it's probably not great, like when they give away your phone number and some shit like that. That's why we were taught back in the day, you don't give that to everybody. But, you know, market engagement and stuff like that, I get it. People want to go look at what I'm doing. They might find a big white guy in a robe way too exposed. Just good, probably, that I don't keep a camera on hand on a good chunk of the time these days. Plus, they cost more money, and I don't feel a specific super need for it right now. I used to use a camera mostly for the microphone for a while, but it stopped working with hardware. I don't know what to tell you. So I got like a more literal microphone. PCs get weird with headsets and changing back and forth of what it wants you to expect for what you want with sound here and there, and I get tired of chasing that shit around. So I mostly stick with microphone and speakers, and then divide the microphone from the speakers. I really still want this overhead view that I saw. Like, let's see here. No, we don't need Orange Man on full front here. I checked that out already. I actually should be probably closing down some of this shit. I have too many tabs even on this browser. That, what was I doing? Private search services / browser clear data. Oh yeah, I was trying to look up a thing on this because Chrome was acting stupid and wasn't letting me sign in things properly for like literally just looking for a fucking like sale on a game. So I was like, fine, fuck you. How do I clear this if that's the problem? And I'm like, wait a minute, I'll just use the other browser from the get-go, and it let me sign in from because shit. And I just, I'm tired of chasing every stupid thing. Oh, that's my Nintendo account, by the way, which is fine. This page cannot be displayed. Start the process of the beginning of one. And of course, even Nintendo's like better than what some of the stuff's right now, and Nintendo is positively dreadful right now. Like Microsoft Xbox, what they followed up with afterwards. Oh my god. I don't know what the fuck these companies are thinking. They're just, I guess they figure, you know, it's okay to sell off a bunch of their usual building up fans to hope for a new fan base. But the way that they were going about it, I don't think they're going to come out on this super awesome on top of where they could be like they think they're going to. There's my little bank ad name. What would I do on this? Okay. This is really not helping me much. I just want to go to the thing that has... Okay, fine. Fuck you, Nintendo. I keep this as like a little cover thing, like when I don't go to certain things. Oh, that's weird. That'll be fun to watch sometime. This song is like cool, but that's because I'm a 40K fan. The I Am the Law. It's like somewhere between Judge Dredd and 40K. The Arbites. Which incidentally is kind of seeming like some of the policing that's going on in one thing, and then another side of the policing that they're told not to help the ICE agents at all, but at the same time they can't arrest ICE agents because they're federal personnel. So it's one side getting into all the tear gassing mess, and then a bunch of bike cops sitting up against a pole, and then people going over to those bike cops saying, man, it's getting crazy out there. Could you help me? I had a guy just try and take my phone. And then they arrested him. Like they arrested the guy who was trying to go for help. And you wonder why people don't trust cops. You wonder why I don't trust cops. Oh, here we go. We got one here. Let's go with this. I'm going to copy the link so I don't open yet another tab, because I'm trying to be self-restraining on that. Let's see. Because Edge is not my primary. For one. My primary is Chrome. And just to be okay and secure with the whole that I don't pop something up on YouTube that's going to get me indeed kicked off due to my own fucking fault, I don't use Chrome as something that gets viewed on the stream. Only Edge. Edge I'll keep clean. I right-clicked the little URL thing. Why is it not? I guess I could just do it by copy text. I was looking for copy URL. Let's stop that. Go back over here. Johnny Jedi, Night of the Giving. Is that the same guy who did Let's Kill the President? It probably might be. I forget who did that. You sent me that one. Don't worry, I don't think anyone watches my stream to feel self-incriminated for sharing a video about a guy in a king crown painting himself orange and going on about that fucking bullshit. I'm sure it pisses off people that are on the right as well as medieval reenactment people that are especially on the right. See, that's one thing that apparently Edge gave me. It'll also give me this, and it'll also give me things like, let's see, what's the other one? Like, probably calling people Hitler. I have a lot of AI videos, though. I like the silly AI nonsense. I also like pet videos. For a time, I actually had ferrets, and I know that's not a ferret. It's just a weasel of some sort. And occasionally something like this will come up at like $2 or something like that, and I'll find a way to pull strings and maybe pick something like that off. Right, I was going to do the thing. Which one can I use? You know what, we'll use this. Alright, let's view this.
New breaking update in our ongoing reports on the, tendency for Trump to Paco. He has called for jailing Pritzker and Brandon Johnson. That's the short of it.
And real quick on a bit of like that, unfortunately, when you do cast a federal order and your state literally says it's just not going to follow any federal order, you've basically made yourself a rogue state or rogue city. So yeah, people are going to say stupid shit. And yes, I realize Trump says some stupid shit too. But the thing is there may actually be grounds for that.
This morning, more troops are on the ground in American cities.
And
moments ago, President Trump weighed in again and is trying to ratchet things up rather than calm things down. Again, sending out this message, we'll show you. Chicago's mayor should be in jail for failing to protect ICE officers. Governor Pritzker also. It comes as the Trump administration
There was an order signed that they are not to help ICE in any way, shape, or form. And even some of the own police chiefs are making some things, but they're also, the ones that are following that are warning citizens, you probably shouldn't be boxing these ICE agents in with your own vehicles and hitting them on the back. And I do have footage of that one too.
Officials have been traveling to different parts of the country for firsthand looks at ICE operations. The DHS secretary was in Portland, Oregon just yesterday. A source telling CNN she met with the city's chief of police and others who oppose the military deployment there. And the FBI director, Kash Patel, was just in Chicago, where National Guard troops from Texas just arrived. They're doing training and awaiting specific assignments, possibly deploying as early as today. And at the center of much of the protests...
Again, and I'm going to reiterate this, and I'm sorry if you're tired of hearing the same thing, but it's really important for me to keep clarifying. The number of Texan National Guardsmen that have been deployed to Chicago is not that high, okay? It's 200 right now. Just 200. That is not enough to meaningfully occupy the city. This is all a big vice signal, all right? They are trying to provoke antagonism against the National Guardsmen in the hopes of sparking some kind of Kent State, massacre.
Here's the other thing on that, though. I have other people also on his side who then say that they sent too many. But then when they say that they're going to send more, they're told that they shouldn't send any more. So we kind of get back and forth even on the left side.
Or like incident, so they can use that as an excuse to crack down further. They, at the moment, are not even remotely capable of holding the city. Because, as it turns out, by far, the largest occupying force in any city is the police department. And the police department in Chicago and Portland, etc., is far more numerous, and in these cases, not compliant at all with the agenda of the Trump administration. Which is probably why Kristi Noem went over to Portland to talk with their police chief the other day. Because they know they can't do anything without the support of the police. Did you see how fat they are? No, and I'm always down to be fatphobic. Oh my God. Well, gravy seals. Now that's some padding. Yeah,
that's what happens when you deploy the reserves, basically.
You're laughing until one of these guys tackles you, okay? You're laughing until...
they will still catch you good.
Till they come after you. The Chungus cometh. Give us a phrenology assessment. All I can tell you is that these boys are going to get hungry on the drive over from the base to Chicago. Didn't Hegseth just talk about not wanting fat folks? Do you think the Texan National Guard is based in Woke? So they were like, oh yeah, we'll send you 200 guardsmen, and they deployed, the gravy seals over. Here you go. Look, no hate. They're National Guardsmen. They're part-timers.
Clashes has been about 12 miles west of Chicago, actually, at an ICE facility in the town of Broadview. And the mayor of Broadview, Katrina Thompson, joins us right now. Mayor, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate your time. First and foremost, I want to ask you about the troops. You got the National Guard from Texas arriving in Illinois. There's a lot of lack of clarity of what happens next. Are you expecting them to come to Broadview? What are you preparing for?
Well, good morning. Thank you for having me. What I am prepared for is just making sure that we are communicating with the residents of Broadview and to protect them to be safe. We do know that the National Guard is not local law enforcement. They are military. They have no local police training. Having them serve as a local law enforcement is asking them to serve outside of their training. We didn't ask for them. We don't want them here. And
wouldn't it be smartest to just not protest and give them nothing in terms of tear gas in the streets videos? In my opinion, basically no time and effort should be spent antagonizing or confronting the National Guardsmen. For one, they have no choice in being there. They're military.
Exactly. The thing is they are considered what they are, just as the other federal agents are on federal bit, and police cannot arrest a federal agent. If they could, on any letter of the law, someone would have made the attempt by now. As far as I know, nobody has.
They don't have all the rights that federal agents do. Also, they can't conduct any arrests. They're literally just there to be guards. They can't really do anything without the Insurrection Act. I think that for the and we saw this in Los Angeles. Remember, the ICE dipshits over in LA were the ones like really tussling with people, and to an extent the LAPD because they're evil. But the National Guardsmen and the Marines were just like standing around because they can't. Yeah, in DC they're just picking up trash. So we should just let it happen? No, I didn't say that. I'm saying that you shouldn't direct your protesting against the National Guardsmen because it's meaningless. They're not doing the thing, and they had no choice. If anything, you would want them to be maximally sympathetic. Unfortunately, it's pretty difficult to, at a glance, distinguish between National Guardsmen and ICE agents because ICE agents also dress military these days. Presumably, the only real difference that you could identify from a distance is that the ICE agents are wearing masks. The soldiers are not. The ICE agents are all former Proud Boys and 3%ers, so they've got masks on. I don't know.
They would escalate the conflict started by the flame of ICE. So we just try to just manage as best we can.
The ICE agents are also fatter. Well, that was the case with the California National Guard in Los Angeles. But the Texas National Guard, everything's bigger in Texas, okay?
Do you think it could inflame things further from what you've already been trying to get a handle on and control?
Oh, absolutely. Our experience with ICE has been terrible. ICE is the one who's been instigating all the problems against our village and against our residents. They did not respect our local laws. They did not respect life safety issues, and they are causing problems and committing crimes.
Cannot overstate how much our fragile democracy right now is hinging on the hope that local police departments do not become amenable to ICE. Literally, like, that's the thread, okay? The entire American experiment is dangling from a thread of spider silk. And that thread is exactly as strong as
our legal
local police departments' negative disposition towards ICE.
Unprovoked firing of rubber bullets and other projectiles.
We're talking about
that is the thin blue line.
Without the regard of the residents across the street who are being harmed.
Mayor, I just read what the president just sent out today, saying that the governor and Mayor of Chicago should be in jail for failing to protect ICE officers. As I've already mentioned, the ICE facility that's kind of been a central focus for weeks now is in your very small town.
When it finally breaks out, if they get an arrest, if the cops arrest an ICE agent for like obvious crimes, and then they get unmasked in perp walked, and in their photo they're identified as like a former Adam Lofton member or whatever, holy shit. Oh my, I need it. I need it. I need it, please.
That's possible these days.
What is your reaction to the president when he says that?
Well, you know, he has his right to his opinions, and I absolutely disagree with that. We have a right to protect our communities. We have a right to protect the state of Illinois, and we didn't ask for the National Guard.
I want to play for you something because Portland is another prominent city facing something of what you're dealing with in Illinois. My colleague Shimon Perikipez spoke with a congresswoman from Portland who is there and begging protesters at an ICE facility there to leave because what she says is that outrage is exactly what the administration is looking for. Let me play for you what this congresswoman says.
I think this is conditionally true. I really don't think there's any political benefit whatsoever to antagonizing the National Guard. There is nothing the Trump administration wants more than for the National Guard to have the lawful ability to defend themselves against protesters. Like if the National Guard, like if they're antagonized to a point where the National Guard either feels or actually is justified in engaging in, you know, self-defense, which would work out really badly for the protesters, by the way. Okay, really, really badly. Because fat as some of them are, the National Guardsmen are still National Guardsmen.
They will pound
you. Know.
Also, whether it's believed, which is, I guess, going to be figured out by the courts someday, if the federal agents have the right to arrest or not, I'm pretty sure, either way, if you push a federal agent, give him a good shove after he's asked you to step back, it's still not good in your favor. And I've seen plenty of those, and then sure enough, that guy had the training to snap dragon to the ground.
Right. But you know, obviously, if the protesters make life hard for ICE agents, I'm not going to shed a tear over that. I would never condone it, of course, because that could be described as supporting terrorism these days.
By going to that facility, people are not being strategic. You know, at this moment in time, protesting in the streets is absolutely important.
Everything needs to be figured out. When it comes down to differences of opinion, it's going to come down to what the courts say on that. There can still be difference of opinions, but we don't know what laws have changed. None of us have read through all the differences of what's been on the table. And even a lot of people on the left will also say, yeah, they kind of do have the ability to arrest and take that risk. If you've done something hot, leave the area. So we're going to find out in time. So right now, that is your side on that, and that's my side on that. As far as I know, that if some shit goes down, especially when they've been personally dealt in with, we're talking about a situation where it could even be debatable of citizen's arrest, which is often seen as a joke. But if you are assaulted, you do have the right to a defense. As such, if you are any kind of agent, even being an agent doesn't automatically mean you're not now able to even enact civil, self-protections. You push one of them, they know how to probably push you significantly and probably pull you and bring him to the ground. Whether it's right or wrong, it's not gonna go well. So it's just not ideal. If there's really a belief in any kind of law in that, it's really going to be on that. And if that is the case, and they have no legal rights to make arrests, then why are the local police not making arrests either when they don't have jurisdiction over an agent? Because if an agent still does something highly illegal, like walk up to someone and shoot them in the forehead, like that was just standing there, that you could still go after an agent for, because the necessity is utterly there. But we've not seen any of that. So we should also be asking the governors what they feel. Like, if they shouldn't be there, they're saying that, yes. But I'm not seeing where they are saying that they don't have any ability to make arrests by their creed or whatever. This is a thought that has been spread, but if you find me the original footage, I'll play that too, because I'm really kind of curious where that came from. Like, is there a video that talks about how agents don't have the legal ability to arrest? Because I would feel that if that was the case, that the actual police would somehow get involved. But if you have a video, if you have a document that we can go over, because by all means, this is something that I need to see too. Alright, yeah, well, just get that for me sometime in the future. We'll go over it. Because I'm curious about it. But the National Guard, oh hell yeah. The National Guard are there to commit guarding actions, and if you fuck up and you fuck with the National Guard, that is literally the job of the National Guard. Agents, alright, I'll have to see what the documentation is on that. But yeah, the National Guard, abso-fucking-lutely.
Just don't protest right there, because then you're playing into their story that is not the reality, as you can see looking around.
I wonder, hold on. Okay, I think there is a version of this that is true. I think that the version of anti-ICE protests that is just camped outside the facility is what the Trump administration benefits from the most. And the version of anti-ICE protests where it's just like on the streets of Chicago, when regular people see ICE agents, they're antagonistic. That's probably better. You know what I mean? Because the protesters that are crowded around outside the building, easy to disperse, easy to tear gas, easy to fearmonger over. Whereas if it's just like, oh, there's two ICE agents conducting an arrest. Did you guys see that de-arresting video? The one where those two ICE agent Gestapo Nazis tried to grab some poor brown guy off the street, and a bunch of the civilians in the area were filming and like circling in, and eventually ended up getting the guy free. They gave up, yeah, because they don't have real police training. If they were real police officers, they would have handled that situation differently.
I think there's a difference between whether they were able to do it or whether they wanted to die for it. That's a whole nother thing. I have seen cops give up on arrests as well when they are utterly surrounded in the wrong part of town. I don't think we can take that as, oh, well, that's because they don't have this ability. I think I'm gonna need more documentation on that.
But they didn't because they don't. There are versions of protesting that work out better, I think. Video? Yeah, I'll show the video. Roll the clip.
By all means, let's see.
It's quite long, but you can see the...
I did see this. They zip tie his ass.
And people stop around them and honk their horns, and more people start circling around the ICE agents.
See, right now, this is an escalating situation.
It's quite a long video. But eventually, the ICE agents give up, they get back in their car, and they leave. Now, if those agents were trained properly, they actually would have been able to handle that situation a lot better. But they're not, and they won't be. There is the administration does not have time to pull back all these new neo-Nazi hires and give them all like 6 months training at an academy, okay?
You become part of a war zone narrative if they decide that that's the time they're going to go out there and provoke.
Do you agree with her? I mean, would you like to see the protesters leave? Because I know that you have signed an executive order to limit the hours that protesters can protest at the facility.
Oh, absolutely. We know that ICE don't respect local laws. They don't respect First Amendment speech and assembly, and the Fourth Amendment unlawful in assembly. So absolutely. And we want to make sure that the people that visit our town every day, that they're safe and they feel protected. By going into that facility is just going to incite other things that can take place. And We just want people to be safe, but be able to exercise their freedom of speech.
But you'd like to see the protesters leave. You think they're playing into the administration's hands by protesting outside the facility?
Well, emotions are high right now.
This is a very complicated topic. I don't necessarily fault people for having answers on this that are a little bit awkward, especially just like a random mayor. You know, you're a mayor. You're not like a political analyst. That's like actually a really tough question to answer. Like at what point, like where exactly the protests are best directed. So I'm not going to get too up with it, I suppose. Where is that other clip? Oh yeah, speaking of freedom of expression.
1 year penalty for inciting riots. We took the freedom of speech away because that's been through the courts, and the court said you have freedom of speech. But what has happened is when they burn a flag, it agitates and irritates crowds. I've never seen anything like it on both sides, and you end up with riots. So we're going on that basis. We're looking at it from not from the freedom of speech, which I always felt strongly about, but never passed the courts.
So that's pretty funny. Again, Trump doesn't seem to know what's going on in the country outside of what he's directly told. So I think that he thinks that his executive order making it illegal to burn the flag actually ended the First Amendment. I don't know. This roundtable has Andy Ngo and Jack Posobiec at it. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like I said, he says some stupid shit too. Here's the thing on that. I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to burn anything in the street, period. So if you were in your own yard and burning it and recording it, yeah, you very much should be able to do that. It sucks, but it depends on where the whole fire things go. Because just because you have an opinion doesn't mean things like fire safety suddenly takes a back seat. And I know from personal experience that if you're burning something somewhere they don't want you to burn, they're going to let you know, and there is fines attached. They probably won't, go out and pounce you for it. Or maybe they will. I don't know. But there's definitely fines for just simply going in the street and burning shit, no matter what it is.
They're anti-Antifa, whatever, somebody should come up with a shorter version of that term, specialists. Anyway, so far, it's still all talk, no hog, okay? It's all dick and no balls. There's no shooters in there, Just an empty sausage casing. It's nothing, okay? 200 federal guards, or 200 federally or federalized National Guardsmen.
Let me just answer that here. National Guard can take you down. If you are a threat, and you pose yourself as a threat, the National Guard can procure you. I mean, if you don't believe me, you can ask other military guys on that. Because the whole point of the National Guard is that you're not sending them abroad. So if they can't enact anything at home either, what's the point of having a National Guard? There's just a blatant fallacy when understanding, like, okay, why would you have a force dedicated to your internal area if they're not even allowed to deal with problems and secure an internal area? So yes, if they need to take you down and pull you away, they can do that. They are military. They can grab you. To say that you can't be a military personnel to arrest would also mean that the MP would have no power to arrest an individual who's doing some apeshit stuff right in front of the gate. I guarantee you the MP can arrest you if you're doing stupid shit right in front of the gate.
Half of them are fat. Make of that what you will. Local police don't like ICE. Local mayors don't like ICE. Brandon Johnson's putting in anti-ICE zones to prevent them from deploying in certain areas controlled by the city. Trump says that the mayor and governor should be arrested. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen. That would be a pretty nuts on the table moment. I really don't think they're going to come after Pritzker.
Yeah, I don't think they're just going to drag him away. It makes an unusual situation because this is not generally situations you have in a country that's not going into civil war. This is literally a spot where the federal is considering this a rogue state or rogue city because they're utterly not cooperating on a bit that I know you believe there's no such thing as an illegal immigrant, but they are too. If you bounce right past checkpoints because they need to check for what's on person of what's going in and out, that is illegal and it is prosecutable.
You know as well as I do, the President of the United States in the last 24 hours called for you to be imprisoned. I want to give you an opportunity. We've seen your reaction on social media, but I want to hear what you have to say back to the President of the United States.
Well, let's start with the idea that this is a convicted felon. I mean, think about that, who is threatening to jail me. I got to say, this guy's unhinged. He's insecure. He's a wannabe dictator. And there's one thing I really want to say to Donald Trump. If you come for my people, you come through me. So come and get me.
And Newsom pulled this gambit earlier, back when he first deployed the National Guard over to Los Angeles, and it worked in favor of Gavin Newsom. who was it? It wasn't Trump himself. It was Tom Homan. Tom Homan called for the arrest of Newsom, and then Trump echoed it. And Newsom essentially said, come on then, do it. And they backed off. And now this is happening again. Listen, as long as they keep, all of the power the administration has gained has been from people complying in advance, over and over and over and over and over again. It's been from corporations not going to court. It's been from politicians folding in advance. They fail every time they confront any real opposition. Really hope they keep it up, you know? And there's no way they could arrest Pritzker. Absolutely no way. They would have to do it with ICE. On what grounds? They don't even have the authority. They would have no legal excuse. And also,
here's the other thing. They said that they would have to do it with ICE, but that they can't do it on what grounds. Through that, they don't have the grounds to do so, but then this is really this guy also recognizing that they could come and arrest. I don't hear this guy going on about how it's documented that federal agents don't have the power to procure a citizen, or for that matter, an illegal citizen, which does exist. We can blatantly find paperwork on that. I mean, you wouldn't have things like you have already with no matter who is in office about an illegal immigrant handling. In fact, the strange thing is that it does seem like numbers-wise, if you look back even during Democratic rule, by that I mean the left instead of the right doing their shit, the left is in there, that deportations were actually extremely high, even with the left in charge. So again, I still think it's left versus right rhetoric that, you know, whoever's in play just gets to make some power plays while the penalty box is in their favor. It's like a game of hockey out here.
Also, like, Jesus, man. Oh, God, I want them to try. I want them to try so fucking badly. I want these drugged up, retard, incest baby, meth head fucking Nazi freaks that have joined ICE to move in a caravan towards the governor's mansion and just be...
Also, throwing the word around Nazi has made it lose power. We really don't know that these people are actual Nazis. They've been enlisted to do the job. Whether they're doing it according to law or not, that will come in time. Because there's no escaping time and no escaping the writ, other than people who can control history books. But so far, for the most part, when we have left, right, a lot of left, more some on the right, both people going back and forth through the White House and who is taking charge, utterly erasing a side or thought process of the history books is highly unlikely.
Be confronted by an army of state troopers who they just have to stare across that. Like, what the fuck are they going to do? What are they going to do? Or Pritzker's in the Capitol building. Like, I want videos on that. Please, God, show me. These people who can't even conduct an arrest properly. These people who are, like, giggling and guffawing as they, you know, handcuff naked children and drag them out on the street in 2 a.m., you know? I want to see them try...
Haven't seen that happen yet.
...to arrest a governor. Are there state troopers? Yeah, state police. Well, I don't know if they're called state troopers in Illinois. In California, it's the California Highway Patrol. I don't know what the term is for their state police, but they have them.
All right, well, we got through that one. Nice little mellow tune there. Oh my God, look at this guy. Straight up idiots. Kid Rock doesn't back down on he feels about this. Kid Rock's in his own weird little world. He doesn't even look like him anymore. I'm tempted to see what these are for that. Let's see. A 100% actual, legit, literal Hitler-loving Sieg Heil Nazis. On what grounds, though, and evidence? We've not seen any swastikas. I've not seen any do Hitler salutes. Are there some that probably like their job too much? Yeah, but you're going to get that in any department. Be it police, be it federal, and you have to get that, like, tackled over time with, what's it called? Internal affairs, generally. But what I will see is a lot of Antifa stuff, but I haven't seen much. I can't think of the last time I saw a swastika on a flag. But then if they're already being identified as Nazis, and people are even rompa-stomping for just even being believed on the other side, when they're holding a camera. I've seen a lot of that too. But yeah, what has to kind of come down is when you find evidence that supports it. And other than just they're dragging away people that have been declared illegal aliens, and it really doesn't constitute as enough evidence to support that they're a Nazi. Kind of like how I'm sure I've probably been called a Nazi at some point. And I mean, I've been told that, you told me the other person said I had a bunch of red flags. I'm like, okay. Not sure how, but people will say the thing that they believe brings the most attention and heat, and they probably should be reserving for that word, or at least how they're portraying it as like Nazi-like action, or comparable to Nazi actions. Absolutely, a lot of stuff. But the thing is that's also been turned around and used against the left at times too, where the whole party of Nazis literally started in pubs, and they would go on and rant and yell about how these Jews caused all this, that, and the other thing. Then you literally have someone and a left official that's now also been put into a compilation that were asking for people to yell and tell people from the other side they don't belong there. They don't have the right to be there to eat with their families. That's kind of a similar powwow to literally how the Nazis were starting their things off. It's not a good look. And it literally is an old quote to saying the next, I can't remember the exact quote, but that the next fascist regime will be those who are declaring fighting against fascism or something like that. I'm sure I'm utterly butchering the quote, but that was pretty much the idea of those words. And I see people who like being angry about shit on left and right, and that they have something to lend and throw their lives into, and that they're justified for exacting this vengeance. And then I see people go out to fight who really want to fight. And then the moment it's not going their way, suddenly it becomes whatever, I did nothing. Again, both sides. But I don't see a free and clear on either side of a chunk of this. And that's why I won't commit to either side. I've seen too much on both. I've seen both in office. I've been to the White House. Granted, not as a super extreme guest. It was like a field trip and shit like that. But, you know, I've been there. I can tell you Washington, D.C. is shit. Chicago, they have the strictest gun laws, as far as I know, in the nation. Has the worst gun crime. This idea that crime rates are going down, well, if it's in lieu of military being sent, that's probably not going to help that theory, because it means that it's proclaimed what it was expected to do, again, in theory. But crime in D.C., Chicago, always high. Gun crimes, nearly astronomical every year. This is why we literally have people from UK and Australia saying they're too afraid to visit America. Oh, there's guns everywhere and they're shooting. Like, oh, the problem is not the gun. It's that you have a bunch of people that are not being watched and dealt with effectively, and that by taking firearms away from citizens that are otherwise knowledgeable, taught in them, and know the responsibility with them, and then either giving them a criminal mark because they don't want to part with it, or B, turn zones into basically soft targets, as they're called, because they know they're not going to run into opposition. So the people that are already not caring about breaking the law still have their guns. You create a very lopsided scenario, and it's never worked out for Chicago. They can go down, yeah, but that crime rate is not lower. The shit's gone hostile. Is there probably because of some agitation what's going on? Oh yeah, sure, I get it. But they're still doing it. The crime's not down. It's certainly not down because of the actions of the local governor or the local PD. I mean, what I would think would be actually a great experiment. I'm getting a call. I'm going to wrap up with this real quick. I'm going to tell them in just a second. All right, so let me see if I can regain my thought here. That's Valley. She's looking for some hang time. By all means, I should hang with the Valley. I actually think a lot of that shit should be pulled. Like, just have Orange Man, if I was that, say like, okay, you've asked for the thing, you won, put my hands up. I'm going to pull all of the guardsmen out. I'm going to, well, I wouldn't do the stupid accent, of course, but let's just say that this is a thing that he probably should do and do the accent, because it makes me feel a little better. It'll be tremendous. I'm seeing you halfway. I'm bringing out the guard. I'm taking away the forces. It's going to be wonderful, I'm sure. Now, have your police make your town great again, and see what happens. If all that shit levels out, and all that crime goes away, there's something to be said for that. And then it would indeed work against them. Maybe that's why he won't do it. We'll see. But I've been watching. It's a shit show on both sides. I can't say anything different. There's so many mistakes being done on both. I mean, shit. I try to be easy-handed with everybody. What do I get? I get that shit thrown in my face by Yorkie. I get terrorized for 3 years, then have a good friend that I finally said, you know what, it seems almost too good to be true, but maybe I should stop suspecting. You know, they're a friend. Let it be. And then they jump down my throat because of a formation on a straightaway. And I'm the bad guy. And it's hard to let that go. I'm now to the point again, and it's probably going to be to my detriment because it was the last time. So I'm going to be like, okay, they're sorry. I've hung on to it for a while. It does still hurt. But I'm going to be nice. Hopefully they'll be nice. Maybe we'll even hang out more again someday, possibly. Maybe, maybe not. Balls in their court on that. And see how it goes. But that kind of approach really hasn't there. But you know, it's been friendly. So at least it's civil. But it did. It hurt. And this is the stuff that has never been punished with vanilla. Because they simply had a prettier sob story or prettier face or seemed to align with things, even though that for the longest time they weren't just joking around. They had straight up hardcore anti-male rhetoric, and I just was letting that shit go. I get it. I'm at a loss on that, especially with status quo. But then when I'm being personally attacked and ours are being personally attacked over how we're doing this, that, and the other thing, then they act like they're super okay with everybody else but me. Yeah, I've seen that tactic with Rainer Ocelot. That's how they try and rip things apart and create doubt and dissolve it. And they might win eventually because it is getting hard. I'm tired of no one believing me. I could show all the evidence I got of literally the stream that I had up here on the bit here. It could be said that I changed the logs or anything like that. It could be anything. I'd have to go digging for a while to find where those logs are. Otherwise, I'm a straight up, hey, I'm going to do a fresh reinstall. That whole Firestorm folder, gone. Uninstall, then gone. I have no idea. I'm sure I could figure it out with the help of Google where the fucking logs are. But it's not what I really, it's a lot of work. I think I'd just rather be pissed off at it and say, hey, you see, this is what it is. For better or worse, if I'm that bad, feel free to tell me. If not, then why are they not catching heat for it? Like ever. I'm just sick of the being on the side that's just not going to be backed when someone like that one Skyward lady would talk shit about how our flags are disrespectful but Kitten was utterly fine with it. And I would, every time that this lady, I can't even remember her name anymore, but she would go on like, oh, well, they shouldn't be here. Ask Kitten. I'm like, okay. Ask Kitten. Kitten sided with me. Flags thing. You can bring any flags you want. Kitten sided with me. So when this girl, who probably got ran out on by her one little friend, and then she was playing it up as this horrible, horrible loss, I think they had enough of her too. Granted, conjectured. She came back, hosted a party, and was talking shit. And so I had enough and said, yeah, well, the last couple of times that, you told me to go talk with Kitten, I did. She sided with me. She fucking erupted. And suddenly I had to watch my goddamn mouth from this pirate fake-ass wannabe, who is just him lone-ass self, who's also hosted a couple things in his little pirate woody place, talk down on me. This motherfucker. All because, oh, you're on her land. You know what? She's done this shit when we're not on her land. And you don't know the fucking history. And I'm kind of getting tired of being the one come down on because I'm scary man. I must be bad. It's all because of patriarchy. Or maybe the fact that he's probably just simping up because he wants a piece of that avatar that night. I've seen that plenty. Hell, I've seen a new Lyndon run off chasing a skirt instead of learning the shit I was teaching him when he admitted himself that his employers told him to come in, get a feel for things, learn shit. He chased a skirt. You've heard me tell that story a lot. So, anyways, I should really get going. Valley's going to be waiting for her. She's not eating yet. She's hungry. I could probably eat my salad a little early. I try to eat it at midnight because I have cheese balls on Wednesdays because of the movie. You missed the karate fight in Werewolves, and it's actually not a full-length film. I was kind of pulling my own little fast one with that. It's actually only like 2 of the short films. I didn't have like the full film on that. And then I went into the movie The Bunker, which is actually from the Russian Cold War, where there's some shit going on down there of their own little super soldier program, and some shit goes down. Granted, it does take like 20 minutes for the fucking movie to really get rolling, but there's some stuff that happens in the meanwhile. And it wasn't the worst, certainly not the best, but we all had a lot of shit to talk about it, so I think it's mission accomplished enough. But anyways, I'm going to stop there. You've seen the scrolly that I have here. I mean, if you want, I can scroll even higher. If you want some time, like, you could pause this and look how far back, because, it seemed great. It seemed civil for, off and on. We'd rarely talk. I've always been trying to be pleasant with her, because I know it's eggshells for one, but I try to be pleasant with everybody. I don't want to be anybody's fucking real, actual bad guy that they hate me. I had enough of that shit. I was a mall manager, not a mall manager, an arcade manager in a mall for 16 years, and you get some of that too. Because you have to sometimes tell people, yo, it was your turn to clear the trash, and you didn't. Then suddenly that person goes on about how, oh, well, I quit the job, and then I'm like, oh, why is that? Oh, well, my parents told me I had to. I'm like, that's not a great answer. And then suddenly they start going into the whole bit of like how I'm bad for this. Oh, you like Uncle Ruckus, going slapping people. Oh, because but, right? Turning everything into a racial thing. So much. And of course, other people are like, oh, well, I know him. He's not like that. People don't see all the sides of these people, especially when they keep a very particular private life. I mean, I keep my own private life. I don't want to put my face out there because I do have some opinions that are not going to agree with everybody. And it's usually because I find guilty on left and right, and it's not worth losing friendships over. I'm seeing families bicker at Christmas. I see part of my own family fucking at times go back and forth about this shit on Christmas, on Thanksgiving, on get-togethers, and it's foolish. It's not worth a good experience that you're finally engaging back and forth and let it devolve into letting both sides turn it into a proxy war, especially not to the point where we're seeing families giving up like even shared custody of their children over what this shit is going to probably come out in the history and be shown how hyperbolic both sides have had these officials push people, bring up the worst potential situations that may not even be true, especially since a lot of it's ratings and engaging their own sides and make sure that they get as much votes for the people that are like-minded of who's going to win or not. And then those people who do get in have their own side of news stations, other contractors, and if they funded into that bit, they have a financial investment to get laws passed that are in their favor. And it happens continuously. And yet it's never cracked down on. Both left and right. That motherfucker who changed the status of what the internet's going to be, oh yeah, he's literally got a Comcast job sitting cushy waiting for him. That shit should be illegal. But it's not. Anyways, let me check what you're saying, Anna. Flails to go spend time with... Yeah, I should. But yeah, don't ever let any of this just really shaft friendships. I also feel regretful that Jessex kind of went that. But yeah, he's been warned. I would have said it would be good that we're putting you in a timeout. So if you want to leave, you can. But it would not go well for you. Take the fucking 10. Realize this is not a branch that is going in your favor. Cool down. And then see if he continues to act the fuck up. But if you do have to punt someone out of the Discord, or at least mute their ability to chat, which I don't know if you have. I'm not the super Discord bro. But if you had to kick him out, tell him like, look, this is for now, for you to cool down. We've warned you. It's a cool down. Don't go completely ape shit and knee jerk on this. Or if you're going to, and not say that, then you should indeed, and I'm pretty sure you have the officer power to do so in the SL group, to shut his ability to communicate, at least for a bit, and tell him, this is really just because you're gonna snap, and you really just need a cool down moment. And then go from it. But Jessex has been in and out multiple times, and I'm not going to reverse the decision on it, because I understand where it's coming from. As such, and I back that decision. I have thoughts on it, but I do back that decision. I hope that when my time comes where I do say, you know what, then maybe we should pull back. If we're going to be treated like shit like this, and it's continuing to get worse, and we pull back, that we at least make the statement of pulling back for further talks. Which could happen. But I don't want to do that right now with drivers. I'm certainly not going to do it for this camp out, because you have everything invested and set up. I get it. And it is a financial hit, but I'm kind of hoping I guess we'll just say the staffing of the coalition understands that there needs to be backing of one another, and if there is to be some kind of reversal, there should be some kind of meeting about it. But yeah, I know he left on his own anyway. I really kind of think it should have been told him to save him from himself by making him not talk for about fucking a day. I've put people back in chapter days out on cooldown on that. Granted, I didn't completely mute them either, but I let them occasionally hang around, but they were punted right out the group, and I told them, look, you're telling me that you're going to decide when you leave. I'm sorry, that's not how it's going to work. You've got a problem, you need time away. Take this X amount of time. Think about it. Be good, you'll be back in. And he was. I never heard shit about it. In fact, when I retired and eventually he came back up, he's like, I had fun, I'm glad, I understand your decisions. And that's wild because he was a little eccentric for his time. He was young. But alright, I'm going to go catch up with the Valley. Don't let it kill your friendships, a difference of opinion. By all means, the documentation, yeah, I should read that because I'm really curious on its sources. And I should know for myself because I've gotten into arguments with authorities. I've blatantly fucking told a captain, maybe even a general at the time. I'm pretty sure it was just the captain. It was the general that actually said, don't put yourself down. You can do what these guys are doing. Granted, I was much younger then. But I told a captain, these guys are acting like I don't even exist. I'm supposed to be the authority of this country, and the guy is supposed to come out and translate with me. If not right away, then nearly right after the fact, they're storming the spot. These guys are lounging around, staring dead at me with a rifle, And in real life, they probably would have been shot or all of their targets have fled by now. He fucking let into them. The whole fucking squad. Next time, I did not fucking even see it coming. I was doing the whole bit, like, talking with the locals who are playing the local actors. It was basically a higher-esque, like, acting job, only not movie star pay. And it's through Randstad, which is contracted through military. And they do take that feedback, because he let into them. Next time around, fucking spot on. They fucking stormed around the corner of the building. By the time I was ready to go for my hand, I was approached right at the guy. The guy was, you know, talking to me with the understand marked as the translator. Fucking perfect. And that's what they need to do to live out there. Because the way that they were doing it, treating this training like it was just an act and not treating it any kind of close to real, they were going to just get killed. Yeah, I need to get going. Alright, I'll see you later. I'll go fucking gripe about some other shit. I also need to kill the stream. So if anybody watches this stream, that's just me on a pissed off day. And the thing that I do here with the watch along, yes, it is legal. If it's not, well, then YouTube needs to talk about not letting any of their footage into any game ever. And if that's the case, well, yeah, screw on you. But yeah, the backlogs of what's falling or flailing around on the back ends of YouTube. Some of the movie makers put it up just for getting coverage. Gundam does that a lot. Gundam loves you to watch their stuff when they put it up. So it's out there. And if it shouldn't be out there, falls on the platform to self-police, not me. Otherwise, go get the uploader, not me. Through all sets of the law, I'm abiding. And that's why I'm one of the only horror hosts left here in Second Life. Well, anyways, so thank you, bye-bye, and yeah, I go knock this over now. Matter of fact, I want to do the other thing I usually do, real quick. So, hey you, thanks for watching. May my armored face bring you comfort or discomfort, whichever you choose. And maybe I will actually start streaming regularly again. There's also a good chance it won't be on YouTube. I'm probably going to Twitch. I miss music. I miss other music in the background. I hate getting copyright claim for the stupidest shit.